coma. Welcome back. We have a fun episode today.
Yeah.
Before we get going, let's check in with our zones.
Zone check-in.
It's zone check-in time.
It's zone check-in
How are
time.
you feeling today? When I get to 0, you're going to act like a statue and show the feeling you are feeling. That's a funny sentence.
Feel the feeling you are feeling.
Show the emotions you are feeling. That's a better sentence. Are you ready, friends? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, 0. Ms. Austin, how are you feeling?
I'm excited
Why?
because we have a little field trip that we're going on today.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Yellow zone.
Oh, uh-oh.
We have some big things happening in my house right now and
Yeah.
some unknowns, and so
Ooh.
I'm excited but nervous. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna be there, so I'm just gonna do the best I can. Mr. Kevin, how are you today?
I'm okay.
Doing okay. Okay
Doing
is
okay.
great.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Today and every day,
We agree to
show respect,
make good decisions, and solve problems.
and one way we show respect is by
Taking a moment to look outside your window, look at the sky, the trees, your surroundings. Our physical space stands on the historical and ancestral lands of the Puyallup tribe of Indians. We acknowledge the Puyallup tribe of Indians community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations.
It's a great way to honor the people who came before us.
And it's holding the space.
That's right. What do we get to do today, Miss Oslin?
Okay. We get to learn from an expert.
I love learning from an
Me
expert. I learn so
too.
much every time we bring an expert on because I'm an expert in teaching, but I am not an expert in some of the content areas that I teach. So I have to learn while I teach it.
Yes.
And I'm going to learn so much today.
We're going to learn more about how do systems within the human body work together to survive.
That's right.
Should we jinx?
Review our
Big science word.
We've been learning about our head.
Yeah, right. Shoulders up.
We learned about the cornea.
Ooh, that is the clear part of the eyeball's outer coating.
It's like this really special protective layer of the eye.
Yes.
And then, yes, Mr. Kev?
You know, I honestly thought that the cornea is where the silly jokes came from.
I mean, it could be.
I
Yeah.
think that's corny with a Y.
Yeah.
Cornea.
Yeah. Close, Mr. Kevin, close.
I couldn't be any cornea right now, could I? Oh.
I love being your corny pupil.
Oh.
Mr. Kevin's taught me how to be funnier this year. Poor Ms. Oslin. Okay, friends, back to the learning. Lens, a clear part of the eye that brings together rays of light to see better. And this is the part that is like a camera lens. It
Yes.
focuses and unfocuses so you can see things far away and things close up.
And your iris is the colored circle around the pupil of your eye.
That actually helps your eye be protected from sunlight.
Yes.
And then you've got the ear.
We learned that the eardrum is the part of the middle ear that receives sound waves.
And the cochlea is what transforms those sound waves into neural nerve messages so that then our brain can interpret them and tell us what we hear.
We learned that a membrane is a thin layer of tissue, and there is one within the ear.
Yep, and it's on the eardrum. Just like a membrane over a drum head, we have a membrane over our ear.
Like we
drum.
saw in the video.
Yes, and then
Ossicles, ossicles, ossicles. It's a very small bone in the inner ear.
it's this little setup of bones that have like anvils and hammers, and it's what creates the waves, and then it hits it and it sends it all. It's very complex, the
It
ear.
really is. Okay, we're gonna review our chant.
Cells and
Tissues, cells and tissues, organ systems, organ systems.
Wait a minute, they're not singing with us. Friends,
Gotta sing
you've
with
got to
us.
sing. I know, but we're doing it on TV for everybody in the world to watch. You can do it for a few friends.
You can
Okay.
do it quietly if you're more
can whisper
comfortable.
it if you
Yeah. Cells and tissues, organ systems, anatomy, the structure, physiology, its function, body systems, biology, cells and tissues, organ systems, homeostasis is a major purpose. Know their structure and their function.
Nice.
Awesome.
Now,
Thank you for those of you who are singing along with us.
we have two different systems
Yes.
we're going to talk about. But they're part of a bigger system, which is our sense
Yes.
system.
Yes.
And the two systems we're looking at is the eye system and the ear system, all part of our senses.
Yes.
Now we're going to go and take a look at our input chart really quick before we go on this field trip.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Kevin,
Yeah.
here it is. We talked about the eye and how all these pieces of the eye sends messages in the nerve to our brain, to the back part of our brain, to tell us what we see. And we learned about it in the video and doing the input chart. I don't want to go too much into detail
No.
because I want to get to the field trip. So we have our eyes, they focus, that light goes in, it bounces off the rods and the cones. It tells us if it's black and white or colored. It actually reverses the image into our brain, and then we reverse it back and see it going right. It's so interesting.
It's wild.
It's something I definitely need to learn more about.
Yes.
This was definitely not enough information. And that goes to the back part of our brain. Then we have our ear. It also has a nervous system. The sound goes in the ear canal. It hits the membrane on the drum. It sends the vibrations to the bones, which then send vibrations to the cochlea, which then the water and the little hairs in the cochlea start moving. And it turns into neural messages that goes out the auditory nerve into the brain to tell our brain what we're hearing, and that's how we hear sound. So both of these senses, how we see and hear, lives in the brain.
And they work together to help us
Survive. Because if we smell something that's dangerous, that tells us that we need to protect ourselves. If we see something, if you can't see very well and you trip, you could fall and get really hurt. So that helps us survive too.
Yeah. If we hear something that's dangerous, or like now when I hear a siren, I know that if I'm driving, I need to pull over. And that helps me and other people survive.
That's right. Friends, when we leave to go on the field trip, how do your eyes and ears help you survive? And if you're someone that has eyes or ears that are not working properly, does the other sense help you survive? Think about that as we travel to our field trip.
Yeah.
You ready, Miss Allison?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
We are going to go visit Nurse Michelle at her office at Crescent Heights.
Okay. Are you ready, friends? 3, 2, 1. Bye!
Hi, Tacoma. We are here with Nurse Michelle. We are here with Nurse Michelle.
We are so excited that you're here on the TV classroom with us.
I am so excited to be here. Hey, everybody. Good to see all you guys out there, too.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What schools you're from?
Sure. So I've been a nurse for, I think it's 11 years now. I came across the date the other day. So about 11 years. I worked in the hospitals for a while, and now I am so excited to be a school nurse. This is my 3rd year in Tacoma Public Schools, and I work at Browns Point Elementary School, Crescent Heights Elementary School, and for the last couple of weeks until the end of this school year, I got to pick up Meeker Middle School, so I get a whole new experience this year. So this has been really exciting.
Well, we are so excited to have you. We've been learning all about the human body.
Awesome.
So we thought, well, nurses know about the body.
For sure.
They help us take care of our bodies. So we thought we had a few questions for you. Would you mind answering them?
Awesome, let's go.
Ms. Allison, you can do the first one.
So we've been talking about how the structures within the human body work together as a system to help us survive.
Oh, yeah. So there are so many systems. You've got structures that create systems, and then systems that work with systems. Like, I know you guys are talking a lot about eyes and ears and the brain. So let's just talk about that, for instance. So whenever you see something, so you're walking down the street, right? And you see a big branch that fell over. So your eyes see the branch. That goes to your brain, which goes, oh no, you got to step over that branch. So everything's working together. Or you could hear a loud noise and you don't just ignore it, right? You hear it and you turn your head. What was that? All of those work together. Even your smell, your taste. When you touch something hot, it makes you pull your hand away. So it's your brain that does that once all those messages go to it. Then you've got your digestive system that's working to give you nutrients to keep your body running. Your skin, that's even a whole body system in itself. The fancy name is the integumentary system, and that protects everything. It's like this sack that keeps everything inside our body all protected. So all these systems work together all day, every day, even when you're sleeping, to make sure your body is running completely right.
Wait, so it never stops?
Never, ever stops. Even when you're sleeping, it's still breathing for you. It's pumping all the blood through your body. If you've got nutrients that are still hanging out there moving through your body, it's working all the time.
I never thought of that. I guess we don't think about breathing.
No.
We don't.
We just do it.
There's things you do think about, and there's things you don't. But your brain sends messages to everything to do what it's supposed to.
So it's kind of like a machine.
It's absolutely like a machine.
Oh,
It is.
Do we have a video? That
I do.
You do?
Awesome. Yes. Nurse Michelle sent us this video. We are so excited to show you.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
I love that video. It's so neat how it shows you the things going on in the brain. I don't know if you noticed everything. It's got like a picture. One guy's taking a picture. That's what's coming out of your eyes. There's like 10, 15 different things going on in the brain. In through the nose, you got the food in the mouth. It just shows how everything works together. It's so cool.
I really loved the brain. You could really see how your eyes go to your brain,
Yeah.
your ears go to your brain, your smell, and that's what gives you the whole experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome.
You know, I have a niece and she has a visual impairment and she can smell things really strong and she can taste things really strong.
Yeah.
Her body's compensating for not
Absolutely.
having that vision.
Yeah, that's what happens when any one of your five senses is weaker. People who can't hear as well, their sense of vision is super sharp. People who can't see as well, their hearing is super sharp. So yeah, all your senses will heighten to make up for ones that are lacking.
I think that's because our bodies want us to survive.
Absolutely.
So it makes it so that we can hear dangers and respond to them if we can't see them, or we can see dangers if we can't hear them.
Absolutely.
Our body's pretty amazing.
It is. It's so fantastic. It's fascinating.
I have a question.
Sure.
What do you think are the most important systems
That's
in
a
the body?
hard question.
It is
That's a
hard
really
one.
hard question.
There are so many, but I'm gonna go, first of all, I don't think anyone's gonna say I'm wrong if I say the brain. It's called the neurosystem. So that starts with the brain, it goes to all our nerves. Remember I was telling you, that's the brain tells the rest of the body what to do and when to do it, either if you're thinking about it or if it does it without you knowing. So I think the brain's the most important. Next, I have to go with the heart, the cardiovascular system, because that's what's pumping all the blood through our body, and that gives us the oxygen and all of that kind of stuff and the nutrients. So I think heart is really important. And then I think the last one I would say is our lungs. We got to be able to breathe in that air, get that oxygen to make our oxygen-rich blood. So I think it's the brain and the heart and the lungs.
This question's not on there. Do you mind
Okay,
if I
I
throw
don't
one?
mind. Let's try. See
What
how I
is the
do.
best way that students can take care of their brain, heart, and lungs?
Oh, let me tell you, there are so many things you can do. You've got to be smart. I keep telling, I have kids at home too, and I always tell them to make smart choices. So there's things you can do, like when you are talking about your brain, did you know there are foods that are called brain power foods? They actually make you focus better and make your brain work better.
It's true.
Lots of fruits and veggies. You know what the best thing is? Water. That's the best thing for your brain. It's the best thing for your lungs. It keeps everything moist so you don't get dry throat and then you end up doing the dry cough that then hurts your lungs. It keeps your skin nice and soft. So yeah, you got to put the good things into your body and do smart things that are going to help everything. You got to watch eye strain, especially now with you guys at home that are watching these screens so much. There's a thing I call 20-20-20. So it helps your eyes to avoid getting eye strain, which will help your eyes don't burn or get blurry and no headaches. So for every 20 minutes that you're watching the screen, you want to look away for 20 seconds at something that's at least 20 feet away. 20, 20, 20. That's a great way to help your eyes.
About how far is 20 feet?
So as long as you're not looking right next to the screen, I used to do
Look
that.
away.
I just look right to the side. Now
No,
turn
that's-
around. Look at something far
Look
off.
across
Look
the
out
room.
the door. Look, yeah, it's just something across the room, not right next to you.
Okay.
Just so you're not still focused near. You want to focus far.
Okay, so let's do that right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Everybody, we want you to look at something that's across the room or far away, not at us, and then we'll tell you when to stop.
Sounds
Miss
great.
Oslin,
Yes.
do you think we can time it?
Yes, I will count to 20 in my
Okay,
brain.
Perfect.
here we go. Ready, set, go.
Can I tell you something else while I was doing that I discovered? Taking nice, deep
I was
breaths.
too.
That's such a great time. Help you focus because you're taking nice, deep breaths and relaxing. It'll help you focus, get good movement through your lungs so you can get more oxygen into your brain. Oh, yeah, that's great. So when you're doing that 20-20-20, add some deep breaths.
That'll be good, not only for our eyes, but for our lungs and our brain.
And our whole body.
And our heart. Oh, my
yeah.
goodness.
Speaking of eyes, I have another question.
Sure.
Why do we have tears?
Oh, tears. Tears are super important. Tears do a couple of things. So tears, that water, that liquid helps lubricate your eyes. Imagine if there was no liquid there.
They'd be
You just
sticky.
stick
Ooh,
together
yeah.
all the time. You couldn't open your eyes and they'd hurt. You know, sometimes we get dry eyes with allergies and stuff and we add some drops. It hurts when your eyes are dry. The other thing is sometimes things fly into our eyes, some dirt, something like that, and the tears help wash it away.
But what about when you're sad?
So that's just sad. I don't know what to tell you about that.
just part of
It's
the
just part of the feeling. But
Our bodies are so interesting.
they are. But I'll tell you, I also learned that the surface of the eye doesn't have any blood vessels. There's blood vessels everywhere else. And so if I have blood vessels all through here, I take that deep breath, all that oxygenated blood comes down here. But if I don't have blood vessels on the surface of my eye, the oxygenated blood's not going to get there through the blood system. But it's through the tears and all the water on the eyes, that's how you get the nutrients and the oxygen inside your eyes.
So it's important to drink water because
Yep.
water has
Yep.
oxygen in it.
Absolutely.
Wow. I had another question.
Sure.
Earwax.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, My son has a lot
Oh,
of earwax.
yeah.
Is it there just to be annoying, or does it
No.
have a purpose?
And I know it's gross, but it does have a purpose.
Because I know some people like to always clear it out, but I'm curious, maybe our body makes it for a reason.
No, it does. It does make it for a reason. So earwax actually has a fancy name. It's called cerumen, but you don't need to know that. But that is the
cerumen.
fancy name, cerumen. And our body produces earwax for a couple of reasons. All these things have a couple of reasons, right? So the first one, inside your ear is skin, basically, right? That ear canal is skin. And we don't put lotion inside our ear. We can put lotion out here, and when we take a shower, it gets wet, but we don't usually like water in our ears.
Oh, I don't like that feeling.
Right.
It hurts.
But imagine if the skin in there were dry, how itchy would your ears be?
all the time.
Right. So that wax in there, part of its job is to help keep it moist and lubricated in there so it's not dry and itchy. Kind of cool, huh?
So you don't stick your fingers in there to
Right.
scratch it.
Right. Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. No, your earwax should take care of it. All right, number 2, it's also protective. Remember I told you how the tears on the eyes wipe things away? Earwax helps trap things, stuff we can't even see, little particles of dirt and stuff. Since it's so sticky, it catches those things to keep it from getting in the ear. So if that stuff is in there and say you've got a little cut or something and a little dirt gets in there, you could get an ear infection.
Or I'm thinking like, dust.
Uh-huh.
If you didn't have earwax, it would
It'd
just
be-
build up
yeah.
against the eardrum and then you wouldn't be able
Be
to
able
hear.
to hear as well? Yep. It's pretty fancy stuff.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be cleaning out our
No,
ears.
and it's really not a good idea. So if you stick something in your ear, you don't know how far back that eardrum is, or the tympanic membrane. That's the eardrum. And you could actually poke a hole in your tympanic membrane with a Q-tip, and that's painful. There's nothing you can do about it, but it's painful, and it takes I think it's like 2 weeks for that to heal up. So you don't want to do that. It's hard to hear out of that ear then, and it's just painful. Any wax that you want to clean out should just be right on the outside of the ear. You can get in right there with the Q-tip, but you don't want to go inside. Your body expels that stuff. It sends it out of the ear canal on its own. So when you see it, then you can get it out of there.
It's like a little self-cleaning.
It is. That whole thing works without you doing anything. It's crazy.
My mom always said, don't ever put anything inside. Use your finger, and if it can't fit, it doesn't go any further.
You got it.
Be in there.
Absolutely.
My mom is also a nurse.
Nice. Nice.
It really sounds like our body is just a well-tuned, oiled machine.
Absolutely.
And it works, all these systems work together to keep us alive and to warn us if there's something that is dangerous so that we don't get hurt.
And there's this whole other system that we haven't talked about. It has to do with the endocrine system. That's our hormones and stuff like that. So there's this thing called fight or flight. So
Yes, we've talked about that with the amygdala and SEL and how you can get to the 4 or 5 in the feelings thermometer and you just want to explode.
Right. So if you are scared, something's coming your way, you have all these things happening in your body. Remember, we're seeing, we're smelling, we're hearing, we're digesting things, we're getting ready to have to pee. All these things are happening. But if you are scared and you need to flight or run, your body's not going to worry about digesting some food that's in there or making some pee. It's going to make sure you can hear, you can see, and your muscles are ready to go and you get out of there. But if it's nothing to be afraid of, then you don't need to be running so your muscles aren't as ready to go and you're digesting and you're doing all those other things. So flight or fight. Your body does that for you. You don't even know, but it does it in a second too.
Is that feeling you get when you get frightened by somebody?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you realize,
what do
it's
I do?
okay.
Yeah, okay, yep. No, I don't need to fight. I'm
Because
good.
I feel sometimes like I could do anything in that moment.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You feel that sense of that you're just so strong. And
It's just for a split second.
Yeah.
that I
no
could-
fear. Yeah.
And then afterwards, I can tell sometimes I get sweaty
Yep.
or I have a headache
And then,
afterward.
And then
your
my
body
muscles
just
get
relaxes.
tired.
Yeah, you can feel
So-
muscle sore like you worked out, huh?
Yes.
System we have.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we better take care of this
Absolutely,
system.
you gotta take care of it all. Eat well. You don't have to exercise, but you do need to get outside and
move.
run around. You guys are kids. I'm not going to tell you go do your exercises, but you got to go ride your bike, ride your skateboard, go play ball, go to the park, do something. But get outside. You need the fresh air. Oh, you need the sunlight. Man, we haven't even talked about sunlight. I could go on for days about all this stuff in your body. But that sunlight is so important.
So important. Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
So
And
important to everything.
you know, one of the things that I don't know if you guys know or not, but vitamin D keeps you from being sad. You got to get the sunlight so you'd be happy.
Yeah, we have a rule in our house with my 2-year-old. at least an hour a day outside every day, rain or shine.
Awesome.
He has a rain suit.
Yep.
He goes out when it's wet. We are outside for at least an hour a day.
Nice. That's
good for you.
perfect. Perfect.
Most of
Mrs.
the
Wally
time.
and I talked about how she and I are going to start walking on our lunch break together.
To get
both
vitamin D.
for sun and exercise.
Nice. That's perfect.
We're excited about it.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. It was
Yes,
my
thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thanks for having me, everybody.
Friends, maybe we'll have another episode with Nurse Michelle.
I
I
would
think
love
we're going
it.
to need to.
All right. Thanks, Nurse Michelle.
You bet.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye, guys.
Good day, young aviators. Did you know that we live in an amazing state? Not only is Washington famous for its spectacular scenery, but did you know that Washington State is famous for making airplanes? So today, we will be using our arms' muscular strength to fly around Washington State and see how beautiful it is. All you have to do is put your arms out when the bald eagle takes off from her totem pole and keep them flapping until she makes it back to her totem pole safely. Now, your arms might get a little tired, but that's okay. That's how we build our muscular endurance. Don't stop flapping until you land. Have a great flight.